Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another morning forecast here by Age Weather Forecast. This is going to be another update on the potential for severe weather throughout much of this week, including potentially tomorrow. We have a very big potential risk for very large tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. We're possibly going to maybe see an outbreak in a multi-day threat all the way from today to Friday. We have a potential for severe weather, and we have major updates and new information, which I'll be talking about the timing, who will get affected the most, and I'll also be showing you my own map based on who can get hit the hardest. But if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We are not too far from 2,280 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. I want to try to get to 2,300 subscribers by the end of the week. I think we can do that. And be sure to share the channel to any friends or family that you think will be in the way of the severe weather, so they are weather aware and have all the information that is needed. Also, I'm going to have a major update on the tropical activity in the Atlantic. We now have an Invest 90L, I believe so, and I'll be talking about later that afternoon, depending on exactly if I have plans or not. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So the SPC has finally, and I actually guessed it right, they have added now an enhanced risk for day 2. And I actually guessed that. I literally said yesterday, or if not yesterday, I actually said it on Sunday that by day 2 we will have an enhanced risk. And next thing you know, we have an enhanced risk for parts of Oklahoma and Texas. This is not exactly what the SPC has. This is what I think the SPC will look like by the end of today. We'll be looking at what the actual SPC has later in a minute. But this is using the SPC colors. The dark green means marginal, the yellow means slight risk, and orange means enhanced risk. And this is at level 1 out of 5, and our highest risk is at level 3. So definitely a still decent, very good chance for severe weather. This is where I think we'll have this enhanced risk by the end of today here. I think the possibility for a moderate risk has possibly gone down a little bit, but I still cannot rule out the possibility, because who knows if the tornado threat or even hail threat goes up a lot. So this is where I think we have that potential for the enhanced risk soon. That'll be throughout Abilene. That's going to be for Woodward, Lawton, Oklahoma, and much of areas just in general, northern Texas and parts of western Oklahoma. And then we have the slight risk. This is also what I think it'll look like. I think it'll extend all the way to Texas, all the way up to Missouri, getting close to Iowa. We're definitely going to be seeing a very widespread threat for very strong pop-up bands. But if you're in the slight risk, you definitely still want to watch out near Wichita, Oklahoma City. Even on Abilene, you're still going to be on that border, in my opinion. Del Rio, Joplin, Kansas City, Salino. I think you got to definitely be seeing that possibility for severe weather, just not as severe or as bad as the enhanced. We can't rule out the possibility for tornadoes and hail. Definitely hail seems like it's going to be the primary threat. So even if you're not the enhanced risk, you're still going to be seeing very large hail. And then in the dark green, that's what we see our smallest risk in a marginal. You definitely really don't know. You don't have to watch out just in case, because you see a couple pop-up bands, but they definitely won't be as severe or produce any tornadoes. But you still, of course, can't rule out the possibility. Just you don't have to be on the lookout as much as people in the enhanced risk. So this is what the real SPC shows for today, or for tomorrow. As you can tell, my map's not incredibly different. I just extended the enhanced risk a bit more to the south and a bit more to the north. So I think this is generally this is kind of the area I thought they were going to put the enhanced risk. I would have thought maybe they would have put a bit more to Kansas, but I mean, they're still going to be seeing some strong severe weather, and that's slight risk. I really don't, if we do have a moderate risk, if we do, it'll be right here. If we do have any moderate risk, it would possibly most likely be right here. So I highly doubt that. I think the probability it has gone down a little bit. So here we have the slight risk though, all the way to Kansas City to Del Rio, part of near general western Texas. So if you're in the slight risk, you definitely have that possibility for severe weather. Definitely you can't rule out the possibility, because the highest risk is a level 3, and then if you're in a slight, you're in level 2. So you're not too far off from the worst of it. And of course, with the enhanced risk for Lawton, Oklahoma, parts of northern Texas, and generally just those other areas really in the farmlands, and just not much is farm. As you see, we only have a 5% chance for tornadoes. I think that could definitely change to a 10% chance by the end of today, if not tomorrow morning. Maybe more like tomorrow morning with a 10% chance being added. So this is why I really don't think we'll have that moderate risk unless the hail threat does go up. But 5% chance is our highest risk. That's going to actually extend a bit more out of the enhanced risk. So as you can tell, the the 5% chance for tornadoes does go all the way up here. And as we go into the categorical outlook, as you can tell, oops, that's like really right here, as you see. So that's some possible. There's of course areas in the slight where it's actually have a 5% chance, so we can't rule out the possibility for tornadoes. And a 5% chance is actually a pretty big risk. Only a 15% chance for hail. This will definitely go up, and we have a significant severe risk here, or SIDGE. That's going to be all the way to Kansas down to western Texas. So we definitely have a very widespread hail threat. That's not just for the enhanced risk. So I think this should be up to a 30% chance for hail. And I would not doubt if it goes up to a 45% chance by tomorrow morning. And it seems like winds is also a pretty big threat. It doesn't seem like wind shear is that big of a threat or big of an impact, but it seems like the winds that we'll be seeing is severe weather related. Usually when it comes to wind shear, that's non-severe weather related. So we are going to be seeing strong wind gusts with these bands that are from the severe weather. So you won't be seeing strong winds in general that day until the severe weather pulls up. So definitely be seeing up to 60 knots, maybe even more in these severe weather bands, especially where we have the enhanced risk. And then day 3, we have a slight risk all the way up into the Midwest. So like I said, this is going to be a multi-day severe weather threat. And we could possibly call it an outbreak, maybe. As we now get later into today, like I said, we're still going to be seeing severe weather throughout parts of today. Like these are going to be really strong pop-up bands throughout southern Texas. These very large bands. We only have a marginal risk for today, and we have some really cold, chilly rain throughout the Mississippi Valley Basin. And really a big severe weather threat for today is going to be parts of Texas. But as we now move into Wednesday or tomorrow morning, these bands do kind of fall apart. As you can tell, not as severe. So Wednesday morning should be a nice clear, not clear like as in sunny, but a nice clear, clear as in not too bad of severe weather. But we do have a couple pop-up bands. And here we have defined low pressure system. This is definitely causing a lot of energy throughout these areas for sure. They're going to have a lot of bands that pop up in these areas. As you see, we are definitely going to be seeing some really strong bands, like I said. And so this is going to be more of a Wednesday evening, late afternoon, and kind of overnight hours threat. So Wednesday in the morning, you guys should be fine. But as we now move like Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Thursday morning is definitely when we have those highest Cape values, our highest supercell composite parameter. So definitely seems like Wednesday night and Thursday morning seems to be the worst and the time of the most severe weather. That's going to be throughout moving, of course, areas into western Texas, northern Texas, where we have the possibility for an enhanced risk. And that's why I think we can possibly have the enhanced risk move a bit more to the south. And then it seems like the band kind of does fall apart a little bit, but it's still going to be quite severe. So it's about, this, of course, like I said, the moderate risk is a lot less likely than yesterday. And as you see, it does seem like we will be seeing a pretty large, I wouldn't really say this is a squall line. It doesn't seem like it's really going to be forming really on a cold front here. But this is going to be heading towards the Dallas area, heading towards Fort Worth. I'm actually going to have to wait for this actually to fully reload and all that. I'll come back to that later in the video. And then the pivotal weather GFS here by, of course, Thursday morning. We have a big severe weather. This is like Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So it seems like the overnight hours is the biggest threat for, of course, western Oklahoma, parts of western Texas with that low pressure system in eastern Colorado. And then kind of just fall apart. But by Thursday night, we'll see that a little less severe bands, just a thunder or two in the Midwest. And then our biggest threat for Friday will be stretching throughout the parts of the Ozark Mountains, throughout Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. That's what possibly we'll be seeing that possibly for severe weather. And then we possibly have another severe potential for Saturday. But that's I'm going to be focusing on the one that's going to be happening tomorrow and Thursday. As we now look into the Cape Valleys, as you see by Wednesday, midday, or early afternoon, Cape Valleys are extremely impressive here. We'll start to see that energy increasing as we get more to the day. Only some really low 2000s. But as we now move more into Wednesday in the evening, this is when these Cape Valleys get a lot higher, and that's exactly why we're seeing those very large bands that we saw forming right where I drew that circle. As you see, we'll be seeing now getting close to those lower 3000s now. And by Thursday morning, we have this widespread, very high Cape Valleys, not extremely high, but decently high Cape Valleys, all the way to Kansas, to Texas. We'll be seeing possibly for some 3000s here. So it does seem, of course, we'll be seeing a marginal tornado threat, and the cap is extremely low. It's actually at a 0. That's very, very, very low. actually for cap. So it does not seem like this thing will cap out, but by Thursday, midday does fall apart. And once again, by Thursday evening, we have another huge jump or skyrocket of numbers here of CAPE. You definitely be seeing now getting these higher, getting more into the 3,000s. We can possibly, of course, seeing a severe weather threat. Cap is extremely low. So this is not this like not a there's like not a it's very low risk of actually capping out on Wednesday and Thursday. As we now get into Friday, these K values are going to be extremely high, getting into the high 4,000s. Of course, marginal tornado threat, really significant hail is likely, and we have this cap really low. And then it seems like by Friday morning of the day, these numbers do kind of fall apart a little bit, and that's going to be when cap does strengthen. Now, it's still not going to be strong because it's not above negative 200, but it's very close to that point there. And once it gets close to that point, that's when it really seems to cap out. So things won't cap out really until Friday late morning. As we now get more into now tomorrow, we have these higher SEP numbers. They aren't extremely high because these are moderately high numbers. They're just like in between, like they're getting close to that decent chance. We're gonna be seeing up to a 14 on the SEP by tomorrow. And as we now get more into now Wednesday or Thursday in the morning, we have a huge jump. We're gonna be seeing up to a 29 on this SCP, which is actually quite high. Going to be seeing that potential for tornadoes. Cap is at negative 54, so it's still generally weak. It's actually still very weak. And then by Thursday at midday, that possibly does fall down. That's what kind of fall apart. And we'll see another decent numbers, 15. That's a decent possibility for supercells. That's gonna be but it's gonna cap out at negative 233 because again that is at Friday late afternoon or late morning, so that's when it will cap out there. So really won't be seeing that huge threat on Friday early afternoon or even mid or early late morning or early or mid morning. The really jet or like I said, we're not going to be seeing too much of a really wind shear. So like I said, we're not going to be seeing strong non-severe weather winds generally. For tomorrow, we'll be seeing our strongest winds there for severe weather related. That's what I popped up on the SCP. So or on the SPC, sorry. So here we have very little shear by later today. As you can tell, we have a decent amount, but it's still very little. You usually want to see this when it comes for severe weather there with that low level jet, but we have like no shear whatsoever. Look, we're only seeing 33 knots, 40 knots. That's absolutely nothing. But by tomorrow, we have a bit of a jump of jet or of wind shear that will be moving to northern Texas, western Oklahoma, which can possibly will have some severe weather. We'll be seeing a bit of a jump as well on Thursday with some possibilities for pockets of strong shear. But actually, other than that, we're not seeing really impressive amounts of shear. And like I said earlier, like I was gonna come back. Like I said, it does kind of fall apart as it does move closer to Dallas and Fort Worth. So really not going to be seeing a huge threat for these areas. It will kind of fall apart. So it seems like the worst of it will be for these areas for sure. This is possibly the worst of it, which we will have the enhanced risk. I highly doubt though, or I'm not going to say I highly doubt. I just think, or I believe that the chance for moderate risk has gone down, or not a little bit, but a good bit. Hope you guys did enjoy the video though, and see you guys later today.